Emma Morrison's finger hovered over the delete account button. 3 months on the international dating app and she was done. At 32, she convinced herself that finding real love online was as realistic as winning the lottery. Then Connor's message arrived. Margaret Atwood fan? You have excellent taste. Have you read The Handmaid's Tale in the original? I have a first edition I'd love to share with you. Emma clicked on his profile. Connor Bellamy, 38, civil engineer from Vancouver. The photos showed a man with kind eyes, graying temples, and that rare combination of rugged and refined. Pictures of him hiking mountain trails at charity events, holding a golden retriever named Benson. Her best friend Claire was skeptical. Emma, you barely know this guy. We video chat every night, Claire. For 3 hours last night. He's not some catfish. He's real. And he was. The video calls proved it. Connor was charming, attentive, remembered every detail she shared. When Emma mentioned her dream of seeing real snow, he sent videos of himself hiking near Whistler. One day I'll show you all of this in person. After 2 months he said the words that changed everything. Come to Vancouver. Not just to visit. Come to stay. Move here, Emma. Build a life with me. You're insane, Claire said, watching Emma pack her entire life into 3 suitcases. You're moving to another country for a man you've never met in person? People do it all the time. And Connor's helping with everything. Work visa sponsorship, an apartment near his place, even a job lead at an international school. What if he's not who he says he is? Emma zipped her suitcase with finality. Then I come home. But what if he is, Claire? What if this is my chance at real happiness and I'm too scared to take it? The flight to Vancouver felt like flying toward her future. Connor was waiting at arrivals with yellow tulips, her favorite, though she'd only mentioned it once, months ago. You're really here, he whispered, embracing her. He smelled like expensive cologne and mountain air. The drive through Vancouver was breathtaking. Mountains touched the sky, ocean glittered between buildings. Connor held her hand the entire way. I found you the perfect apartment, he said. Close to the school where you'll be teaching. But tonight you're staying at my place. I want to cook you dinner, show you the real Vancouver. His house was stunning, modern glass and wood nestled in the mountains of North Vancouver. But something felt off. The house was pristine, almost sterile. No personal photos. No dog toys for Benson. Where's Benson? Emma asked. Connor paused. At my brother's place. Didn't want him jumping all over you on your first night. It made sense. So why did Emma feel that small twist in her stomach? The first week was paradise. Connor took time off work to show her around. They explored Stanley Park, drove to Whistler, ate fresh seafood at Granville Island. At night, they talked for hours, making love with an intensity that felt destined. But small things began to bother her. Connor always wanted to know where she was. Just checking in, he'd text. 5, 6, 7 times a day. When Emma went to her apartment, a basement suite he'd found for her, he'd show up unexpectedly. I was in the neighborhood. Her job interview at the international school was cancelled. Budget cuts, they said. Then the second school. Then the third. Don't worry, Connor said. You don't need to work right away. Focus on settling in. We have time. But Emma's savings were dwindling. The basement apartment was $1,800 a month. She hadn't realized how expensive Vancouver would be. Move in with me, Connor suggested over dinner. It's silly paying rent when I have this whole house. Plus, I hate being apart from you. Emma wanted to say yes. But something held her back. I need to keep some independence, Connor. It's important to me. His face darkened for just a moment. Then the smile returned. Of course. I understand. I just want you to be comfortable. That night, Emma tried calling Claire but the time difference made it hard. She texted instead, everything's great but this city is expensive. Job hunting is harder than I thought. Claire's response was immediate. Come home if you need to. You always have a place here. 6 weeks after Emma arrived, Connor proposed the camping trip. I want to show you the real British Columbia, he said, showing her photos of pristine alpine lakes and mountain peaks. A 3-day backpacking trip. Just you, me, and nature. It's where I feel most alive and I want to share that with you. Connor, I've never been camping. I don't have any gear. I'll take care of everything. Trust me. He pulled her close. This is important to me, Emma. I want you to see why I love this place so much. Why I want to build a life here with you. How could she say no? They left on a Friday morning, Connor's SUV packed with gear. The drive took them farther and farther from civilization, up winding mountain roads until they reached a remote trailhead. Where is everyone? Emma asked, looking at the empty parking lot. It's a weekday. Plus, this is a lesser-known trail. That's what makes it special. Emma checked her phone. No signal. You won't need that out here, Connor said, shouldering both massive backpacks. That's the point. To disconnect. The first few hours of hiking were beautiful. Towering cedars, crystal streams, the sound of birds. Connor was in his element, pointing out plants, animal tracks, telling stories. But after 3 hours, Emma's feet were blistering. Her backpack felt like it weighed 100 pounds. Connor, can we take a break? We need to make it to the campsite before dark. Push through it. I really need to stop. He turned, and for the first time, Emma saw something cold in his eyes. Emma, I told you this would be challenging. You said you could handle it. I just need 5 minutes. We don't have 5 minutes. He grabbed her arm, not gently. Now come on. The campsite, when they finally reached it, wasn't a campsite at all. It was just a clearing Connor had chosen, miles from any trail marker. How do you know where we are? Emma asked. GPS. He tapped his watch. Don't worry. I know these mountains like the back of my hand. That night, as Connor cooked dinner over the camp stove, Emma tried to help. He pushed her away. Just sit. You'll mess it up. Connor, what's wrong with you? You've been different since we started hiking. He looked at her across the fire, and Emma felt genuine fear for the first time. Out here, Emma, it's just us. No distractions. No one else. This is where we figure out if this is real. What do you mean? You came all this way. Left everything. For me. For us. He moved around the fire, closer to her. That means something, doesn't it? That means you're committed. Of course I'm committed, but... Then prove it. Connor pulled a small box from his jacket. A ring. Marry me. Right here, right now. We'll make it official when we get back, but I want you to say yes. Out here where it's just truth. Emma's heart raced. Connor, this is too fast. Too fast. His voice turned sharp. You moved across the world for me. But marriage is too fast. I need time to think. No. He grabbed her wrist. You need to decide. Are you in this or not? You're hurting me. Am I? He squeezed harder. Or am I just finally being honest about what I expect? Emma tried to pull away. Connor yanked her back and she fell. Her head hit a rock. When she came to, her hands were zip-tied to a tree. Connor sat across from her, calmly eating the dinner he'd prepared. You're awake. Good. We need to talk. Connor, what are you doing? Helping you understand something, Emma. You don't get to come into my life, let me invest all this time and money, and then change your mind. That's not how this works. Invest? What are you talking about? He smiled, but it wasn't the warm smile from the video calls. The apartment I'm paying for. The food, the trips, the gear for this camping trip. The work visa sponsorship I'm processing. Do you have any idea how much you owe me? Owe you? Connor, you offered. And you accepted. That was an agreement. Now you pay it back by staying. By being grateful. By saying yes. Emma's mind raced. The job interviews. You sabotaged them, didn't you? I made sure you'd need me. And now you do. He stood up, walking over to crouch in front of her. Here's how this works. Tomorrow we hike back. You move into my house. You stop talking to Claire, she's a bad influence. You become what I need you to be. A grateful, loving girlfriend who appreciates everything I've done. And if I refuse? Connor gestured around them. We're 12 miles from the nearest road. No one knows exactly where we are. The trail we took doesn't officially exist. It's private land that I have access to through a friend. Your phone has no signal. Mine is the only GPS that works out here. You let that sink in. Accidents happen in the mountains all the time, Emma. People get lost. Disappear. Especially inexperienced hikers who wander off alone. Emma forced herself to breathe. To think. She was zip-tied but not gagged. Connor was clearly enjoying this. The control, the fear in her eyes. That gave her a small advantage. Okay, she said quietly. You're right. I'm sorry. I'll do what you want. Connor smiled. See? That wasn't so hard. Can you untie me? My hands are numb. Not yet. You'll sleep like that tonight. Tomorrow, when I know you've learned your lesson, we'll talk about loosening the restraints. He went into the tent, leaving her tied to the tree. Emma waited. 1 hour. 2. Until she heard him snoring. Then she started working. The zip tie was tight, but she'd read somewhere that you could break them with enough force and the right technique. She brought her hands up to her mouth, using her teeth to tighten the tie even more, creating tension. Then she raised her arms above her head and brought them down hard against her stomach while pulling outward. The tie snapped. Emma froze, listening. Connor's snoring continued. She couldn't run blindly into the forest at night. She'd get lost or hurt. She needed to think strategically. Connor had the GPS, the satellite phone, all the gear. But she had something he didn't expect. She'd been paying attention. Emma quietly unzipped Connor's backpack outside the tent. She found the satellite phone and turned it on, keeping the brightness at minimum. It took precious minutes to figure out the device, but finally she found the emergency beacon function. She pressed it. Then she took the GPS unit, the water filter, and some energy bars. She left the rest. Too much weight would slow her down. Using the GPS, she found the trail they'd taken up. If she moved carefully, she could make it back by morning. Emma started walking, using the GPS screen as a dim light source. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow could be Connor. She'd been walking for maybe an hour when she heard it. Emma! He'd woken up. She ran. Connor was faster, stronger, knew the terrain better. But Emma was motivated by pure survival instinct. She could hear him crashing through the brush behind her. Emma, stop running. You'll hurt yourself. She kept going, using the GPS to stay on course. But her injured head was throbbing, her vision blurring. She tripped over a root and fell hard. The GPS unit flew from her hand, landing several feet away. Connor was on her in seconds, pinning her down. Stupid, he hissed. That was so stupid. Emma's hand found a rock. She swung it hard, catching Connor on the temple. He reared back, stunned. Emma scrambled for the GPS, grabbed it, and ran again. But Connor recovered quickly. You're only making this worse, he shouted. I was going to let you live. Now I can't. Emma burst through a thicket and found herself at the edge of a ravine. Below, she could hear rushing water. 20 feet down, maybe 30. Connor emerged from the trees, breathing hard, blood running down his face. Nowhere left to run, Emma. She looked down at the river, then back at Connor. Don't even think about it, he said. You'll die. Maybe, Emma said. But at least it'll be my choice. She jumped. The cold water hit like 1,000 knives. The current grabbed Emma immediately, pulling her under, spinning her. She fought to keep her head up, to breathe. Rocks scraped her legs, her arms. She went under again, swallowed water, came up choking. The river was carrying her away from Connor, but it might kill her just as easily. A fallen log jutted into the river ahead. Emma lunged for it, caught it, held on. She pulled herself onto the log, gasping, shaking violently from cold. Behind her, far up the ravine, she heard Connor screaming in rage. But she was alive. Emma crawled to shore, her entire body battered and freezing. The GPS unit was gone, lost in the river. But she still had the satellite phone in the waterproof pouch on her belt. She pulled it out with shaking hands. The emergency beacon was still active. Help was coming. She just needed to survive until they arrived. Emma found a fallen tree to shelter under and curled up, trying to preserve body heat. She jumped into the river in early evening. Now it was full dark. Hours passed. Emma drifted in and out of consciousness, fighting hypothermia. Then, finally, the sound of a helicopter. The search and rescue team found her at first light, guided by the satellite phone's signal. How many days have you been lost? The lead rescuer asked, wrapping her in thermal blankets. Not lost, Emma managed through chattering teeth. Running. From what? From Connor Bellamy. He tied me up. Threatened to kill me. He's still out there. The rescuer's face went grim. He spoke into his radio. Suspect still in area. Male, late 30s, potentially armed and dangerous. Victim reports abduction and assault. They airlifted Emma to Vancouver General Hospital. While doctors treated her for hypothermia, cuts, and a concussion, RCMP officers took her statement. Connor Bellamy, you said? The officer frowned. Are you sure about that name? Yes. Why? We'll need to verify some things. For now, focus on recovering. It took 2 days for the police to find Connor. He'd made it back to the trailhead and was preparing to leave when RCMP officers arrested him. He denied everything. I don't know what she's talking about. We had an argument, yes. Relationship stuff. She overreacted and ran off. I was searching for her all night. But then investigators searched his house. In the basement they found a locked room. Inside, women's belongings. Passports. Jewelry. Photos. None of it Emma's. The name Connor Bellamy was an alias. His real name was Marcus Reeves and he had a history. Restraining orders from 2 ex-girlfriends. A dismissed assault charge. And most damning, 3 other women had filed police reports about meeting him on dating apps, going to his house and experiencing similar controlling behavior, though none had gone camping with him. 2 women who dated Marcus had disappeared. One 3 years ago, another 18 months ago. Both cases had gone cold. Emma's camping trip hadn't been spontaneous. It was a pattern. A test. And if she'd failed, if she'd been more compliant, more isolated, she might have been the next to vanish. Marcus Reeves' trial lasted 3 weeks. Emma testified, reliving every moment. So did the 2 women who'd escaped him before, women who'd been too afraid to press charges when it happened. The prosecution built a devastating case. A predator who used dating apps to find vulnerable women, particularly those who'd moved to Canada with few local connections. He'd isolate them, make them financially dependent, then escalate to physical control. The basement room contained enough evidence to charge him with fraud, uttering threats, kidnapping, and assault. The 2 missing women's belongings connected him to suspected homicide, though without bodies, those charges couldn't proceed. Marcus was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough. But it was something. Emma returned to Brazil 2 months after the trial ended. Claire picked her up at the airport and they cried together for a long time. "I should have stopped you," Claire whispered. "I wouldn't have listened. I had to learn the hard way that fairy tales don't exist." But Emma was wrong about that last part. 6 months later, while volunteering at a women's shelter in Sao Paulo, helping other survivors of domestic violence, she met Daniel. He was a counselor there, patient and kind, with sad eyes that had seen hard things too. Their first coffee date lasted 4 hours. Their second date, they went hiking, Emma's choice, reclaiming something Marcus had tried to steal from her. "You're brave," Daniel said as they reached the summit and looked out over the city. "No," Emma replied. "I'm just stubborn. There's a difference." This time there was no rush. No pressure. No moving countries or grand romantic gestures. Just 2 damaged people taking their time building something real and slow and safe. And when Daniel finally said, "I love you," 8 months later, Emma believed him. Because real love doesn't happen in mountains or through screens. It happens in small moments, in patience and respect, in the choice, every day, to stay. Emma had moved to Canada for love and found something else instead, the strength to save herself. And in the end, that was the most important love story of all. Emma Morrison now works with international organizations to educate women about the warning signs of dangerous relationships. Marcus Reeves is serving his sentence at a federal facility in British Columbia. The families of the 2 missing women still wait for answers. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence or coercive control, please reach out to local authorities or support organizations. You are not alone.